The president says this is the best economy ever, but 3/4 of Americans would scoff at that. And a majority of those polled worry it's only going to get worse. Joining us, Professor of Economics and Public Policy at the University of Michigan, Justin Wolfers. Nina Turner and Chris Matthews are still with us. Justin, talk to me about the economy.
Wow. So great inflation, huh? That seems to be a thing. My students are probably watching right now thinking, I hope Professor Wolfers understands what it takes to get an A++. Not much. Where are we, Katie? Look, I'm a generous grader, so I'm going to go with a B. The unemployment rate has been rising now for a year, 0.5 percentage point up. Inflation is stuck above the Fed's targets. And we've got fiscal deficits at a level that would normally make no sense at a point like this in the business cycle. So the great news is things aren't terrible. And I really mean things aren't terrible. And that's how you earn a B in my class.
Yeah, things aren't terrible, but I wonder how much of this, Chris, is the Biden trap, which is Americans don't feel good. Again, their healthcare premiums are going up. The prices are going up moderately, even though Donald Trump promised to lower them. How much of it is they don't feel good about the economy, and they don't want to hear from a president who's telling them they should feel good and that everything is fine?
Well, look, I think everything he's doing is going to cause more inflation. He's spending a lot more money than Biden did. He's talking about getting lower interest rates in the Federal Reserve by getting a new chairman in there. He's raising money through tariffs. Everything in the consumer end, the industrial end, the government end is causing more inflation. I don't know what in the world he's thinking that he's doing to bring down affordability. Affordability is going to be an issue. He's going to hear it if he tries it for an applause line up in Scranton or in the Poconos where he's going tonight. I think he's not going to hear anything that affirms his position that inflation is not a problem. It is.
Here's the thing about Donald Trump. He does have this magic ability to make people feel special when he shows up in places. And that was one of his superpowers during 2016, certainly extended to 2024. When he shows up in a place, Pennsylvania, wherever, the town will think, or the people that come out will think, he sees us, he cares about us. That's why he's here. Does he still have that superpower, Nina, or do you see it starting to fade?
But it's temporary, Katie. I mean, I think every president has that superpower, but once
I don't know. I think Donald Trump had something special about the way I'm going to argue that, but go ahead.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying the power of the presidency brings on a certain type of superpower. Now, I do agree with you that Trump takes it all the way to the next level. But when the president leaves and people have to pay their rent or pay their mortgage, when you talk to people about the fact that their wages are not keeping pace with inflation. So I'm going to have to disagree with the professor. This is not a B situation. This is a D or an F. If you go and talk to everyday people, where I live in Cleveland, Ohio, every one of 2 children live below the poverty line. And so if they're poor, that means that their parents are poor too. We can't measure this based on what's happening on Wall Street. We should not measure this based on President Trump being able to sprinkle fairy dust when he comes through. The pay in 2024, CEO to average worker pay was 285 to 1. So while everything else is going up, the living wage is not going up. It's not keeping pace. Now, the president has the ability, Katie, to use those incredible powers that he has to really change material conditions, and he should do that. Now, he said affordability was a Democratic hoax, only to be in Pennsylvania tonight to say, I'm going to do something about it. Which is it, Mr. President? It can't be both a hoax and something that you have to deal with. If anybody has the power to do something about this, the courage to do something about this, I would say it would be President Trump, if he would actually do something about it.
He's always been a ball of contradictions, and it hasn't.
He's a hockey puck. He's a hockey puck. Yeah. We just don't know. You hit him, he going, but we don't know which way.
Justin, on the subject of the grade that you gave the economy, you said a B. Here's what Americans will say about it. Overall, do you think the economy is getting better or worse? 19% say getting better, so that's a pretty small number. 55% say it's getting worse. Are you better or worse off financially compared to a year ago? This is a YouGov poll. 41% say they're worse off. 41% say they're worse off, and 44% say they're about the same. How do you square the B grade for the economy with people's feelings about the economy?
Well, I think there actually is an important difference right there. It's a little bit like I was the professor. I gave the economy a B based on what was on the test. What was on the test was unemployment and inflation and the budget deficit. But sometimes what you do when you get a grade is you ask your other classmates, hey, what did you think of this essay? How do you think I did on the exam? And in this case, when you ask the American people how they feel about the state of the economy, they are miserable. It really is a D. Consumer confidence is very close to being at the lowest level it's ever been. So that includes the 80-81 recession, if you're that old. It includes the financial crisis. It includes COVID. The share of Americans who believe that the macroeconomic policy is being run, the share who rate it as poorly, is at an all-time high right now. You showed some numbers earlier about the president's approval on the economy. Look, he's failed to go out there and try to win the battle of ideas. He's failed to go out there and just be honest with the American people about the trade-offs that we face. And as a result, he's just jammed policies down our throat that have made affordability a bigger problem in people's lives, and they feel absolutely miserable about it. I agree.
Not to get too ahead of my skis, but if things keep going the way they're going, Chris, does this damage a J.D. Vance?
Well, look, I think this election is about next year, 26 before 28. I look at Bresnahan, who's the member who got elected in this district, the Poconos and Scranton. He won by a little more than 1%, about 6,000 votes. He's one of the ones that's being targeted by the Democratic National Committee, Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, and McKenzie and also Perry. They're going for all three of these. They're going to try to pick up all three if they're going to get to the 30-plus seats I think they're going to get to. And clearly, they want him, and Donald Trump's trying to hold him. But he's only got this guy a squeaker, 1% at the most. He's got this guy in office. This is sort of at the top of Trump's trend line for the last 15 years. It's been going up a couple points each year in the rural areas. But I think he's going to lose this time. This is it. I think Bresnahan's going, and Perry's going, and McKenzie's going, and the Democrats are going to roll the table next time. And that's in 26. 28 is a different game. We don't know who the Democratic nominee is going to be. We have no idea how effective he or she will be in taking on what's probably J.D. Vance.
Yeah, that is a good point. It's going to very much depend on who matches up against him, if it is him. Chris Matthews, always good to have you. Nina Turner, you too. Justin Wolfers, appreciate it. Still ahead.